Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all are having an amazing day. Guys, we have some great news. Ezio Auditore da Firenze will come to Raid Shadow Legends. He's probably the most popular character from the franchise. I don't really think he's the best one, but he's the most popular one, and he was the main character from Assassin's Creed Renaissance. And yeah, he will be the loyalty program champion, a free champion for everyone, new players, existing players, and all you have to do is log in and claim those rewards. After 14 days, you will get his 5-star soul as well, and the champion after 7 days, as well as some other goodies, savage gear, and all that other great stuff. So yeah, definitely make sure to log in and grab this free champion. It will start on January 8th. Okay, that's when the campaign will start, and it's going to end on April the 8th. That's a lot of time to, collect this champion, to get this champion. And you can pretty much start the loyalty program on the last day, right? On April the 8th, and still collect this champion until May the 7th. So make sure, to log in until April the 8th. If you don't do that, then you won't be able to get this champion. He will be time limited and not be, you won't be able to pull him from shards after this collab, okay? So, he's a legendary spirit affinity champion, attack based from the Sacred Order faction, Ezio Auditore. His A1 attacks one enemy, a single target attack, and has a 100% chance, if booked, okay, it needs 4 books, of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. Not bad, actually. Decreased defense, unresistible if he has Veil or Perfect Veil. Sounds pretty good to me so far, okay? This is a good A1. Not a 50% chance or whatever. It's straight up 100% chance, and you don't need accuracy on him if he's under Veil. That's good. Then the A2, Da Vinci's design, 4-turn cooldown, can be booked down to 3. And this needs 5 books in total, so we're already at 9 books, which is kind of nuts. This is an AoE attack, pretty good. Has a 75% chance or 100% chance, if booked, of placing 2 poison debuffs. That is nice. And the poison sensitivity debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Wow, that is interesting, guys, okay? These debuffs cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. Instantly activates all poison debuffs on enemies under 4 or more debuffs. The first thing that comes to my mind is this is crazy good for Chimera, right? He has most likely Veil in his kit. I'm pretty sure he does have it. And he's placing decreased defense on the A1, so that's already a very important debuff that you need. Then he places poisons and poison sensitivity, and he activates those instantly if there are 4 or more debuffs. That sounds pretty good for Chimera, for the poison trial, and just in general. He kind of brings, a lot of value here, okay? Poison activation is what you need for the Viper form. Now, there's more to this skill. If any enemies are under a stone skin buff, has a 75% chance, 100% chance if booked, of placing 2 bomb debuffs that detonate after 2 turns. These debuffs cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. If all enemies are under stone skin, decreases each bomb detonation countdown by 1 turn. Oh wow, so he's kind of like a bomb champion, but conditionally only against stone skin. I don't know if I would use him in PvP. I mean, it's definitely good to wipe out a stone skin team because, you cannot resist these debuffs. I wish, it would say cannot be resisted or blocked. That would be amazing, but it's still good. But if there's one champion that doesn't have stone skin, then you have a 2-turn bomb on the enemies, and then it's, I don't know, not so good. So, it depends on the enemy team. In live arena, most of the time there's one champion that doesn't have stone skin, but there are still a lot of, players that run a full stone skin team. That does happen, definitely. And in that case, I think he's a solid bomb champion, because you don't need to build him with accuracy, right? Which is kind of interesting. That means you have, more options to stack up his attack and make his bombs hurt a lot more, okay? Then we have the A3 Hidden Gun, attacks one enemy before attacking, steals all buffs from the target. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil, Perfect Veil. Will ignore 35% of the target's defense, as well as shield and strengthen buffs. This is pretty interesting, okay? 35% def ignore on his A3, that's a lot. That's pretty much a merciless set integrated into his A3, stealing all buffs. Also good, you kind of risk the chance here to get polymorphed as well, but yeah, I mean, he's placing an insane amount of debuffs anyway, so there's always a chance to get, polymorphed. So I guess a wand would be the best relic on him if you try to use him in PvP situations, just so he doesn't get polymorphed, okay? Now his passive, everything is permitted. Whenever an enemy's HP drops below 25% after receiving damage from any assassin, they receive additional bonus damage proportional to this champion's attack. This bonus damage will ignore 100% of the target's defense and cannot be critical. Oh my god, so that's pure damage that they're gonna get from his attack. So if you stack his attack to like, I don't know how much, 10k, they will receive that additional bonus damage every time an enemy's HP drops below 25%. So there's a synergy here, with all the other assassins. I'm wondering if the other assassins have a similar passive like that. I'm very curious now, but it seems like we're gonna get another, Ninja Turtles type thing going here with this collab. So that is pretty interesting, okay? That is pretty interesting, and looking forward to see what this is all about. Now, his other passive, Full Synchronization, places a Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 2 turns at the start of each round. Okay, so there we go. He's placing the Perfect Veil on himself, but only per round. Whenever this champion is about to receive damage that would exceed 50% of their max HP, has a 35% chance of decreasing the damage received to 0 instead. Wow, that is an interesting passive because there's no cooldown on this. And you have a 35% chance to survive any hit that would kill you if you are above or at 50% HP. That is pretty nuts. That is kind of like a saving passive, Decreasing damage to 0, that can win a fight, definitely. Whenever this champion is attacked, also has a 35% chance of counterattacking. Okay. So that's kind of like a reminds me of Predator somehow, this passive, to counterattack, just that he doesn't evade. I wish he had evasion. It would fit this champion definitely, right? Assassins, kind of with evasion, that would fit somehow. But yeah, it is what it is. So what do I think about this champion? I think there's a lot of potential here for PvE and PvP. What I do like about this as well is that he brings the poisons and the poison sensitivity, so that makes him a candidate for Chimera as well. If you bring a champion that can, buff Perfect Veil, he doesn't need accuracy and you can build him very fast. Or you can probably also use him as a damage dealer because his A3 ignores 35% defense, and that is kind of an indicator that he might smack hard. Also, it's a single target attack. Single target attacks usually hit very hard, and with that 35% def ignore, you can reach 100% def ignore on the Chimera. So, that sounds pretty good, if you ask me. And for another PvE purpose on Faction Wars Hard, there's this one condition. Let me show you that actually real quick. So right here, I think it's right here, stage 19, defeat 3 enemies while they are under 10 debuffs. That is pretty hard to pull off because there's only one champion that, places a lot of debuffs, and if you don't have this champion, you kind of have to bring toxic sets and all that other stuff, and the stage is not easy to beat, so you do need a solid team. And, Corvus is the only one that places like a lot of poisons, right? You can place like 4 poisons with this A3, and then poison sensitivity. So yeah, that's like 5 debuffs on one skill. And Ezio is not placing that many debuffs, but he's bringing 3, okay? 3 debuffs with one skill. That is pretty good. That makes this condition a little bit easier, definitely, and I'm looking forward to using there. So yeah, that's another thing that I see where this can work. But also for PvP, I think he will be a solid option as a bomber. The only thing that I don't like about this champion is that he's spirit affinity. I don't like that part. If he was force affinity, that would be, you know, much better. So yeah, another spirit affinity bomber. We just got Cross, right, which was a spirit affinity bomber as well. But yeah, oh yeah, I forgot he has a all battle speed aura, which is also good for arena PvE purposes. You know, all battle speed aura, you can use it anywhere. So yeah, pretty good. I think this is a solid login champion, and you know, if you plan on playing Raid Shadow Legends, or you know, if you're a new player or endgame player, I think this guy will help you. This guy can definitely be a solid option in endgame content. I like the fact that he doesn't need accuracy because he has that perfect veil, so you can stack up that attack, but then, you know, it decreases the bomb debuffs by 1 turn, so you end up having bombs on the enemies with, you know, for 1 turn, and they can still be cleansed. So yeah, I think in general he's better than Cross. I don't know if he's better than Nishag, maybe he is, but Nishag is force affinity, so they are probably on par. I think maybe he's even a little bit better because he doesn't only deal damage with bombs, he also has this A3, so you might want to crit cap him as well, right? So you can definitely do that because you don't need accuracy, right? If you have the veil on him, you don't need accuracy. And yeah, pretty interesting, to be honest. I like this champion. And he's free, which is a great thing. So yeah, guys, that's been pretty much it for this video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this champion? I think he looks amazing, okay? I love this design. It's nothing special, nothing shiny, crazy, but I do think they did a very great job, and I do think the aesthetics fit into Raid Shadow Legends pretty much. And yeah, I'm pretty amazed by this, okay? I'm looking forward. Oh, look at the blades on it. I didn't even see that. Wow. He pulled out the blades on his hands. Look at that. I just now realized that. Nice. Wow. Amazing. Amazing animation. I love this. Okay, guys. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. It really goes a long way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more raid content. The YouTube algorithms can suggest you a video that you might like right here. And see you in the next one.